Hey guys, One Punch HD here today to bring you a review for One Piece, chapter 814, entitled Let's Go See Master Nekomamushi. The chapter opens with Brook singing, Let's go see, let's go see, let's go see Master Nekomamushi in the current present time. We then immediately flash back to the moments after Sanji was taken hostage by Capone. Wanda and Carrot are trying to interrogate Nami and the Straw Hats as to what has happened and whether or not he has been kidnapped. Nekomamushi is much more empathic to the situation that is currently unfolding and tells them that their friends are trying to forget about what has just happened, but are far too respectful to voice this desire out loud. They need to sense the atmosphere better and let it go before they make a faux pas themselves. Nami thanks Nekomamushi for his kindness and understanding, but he reminds her that it is the minks who are in the Straw Hats' debt. Then he immediately goes flying off in search of catnip. This is clearly going to be an ongoing gag for this character. We flash back to the present time and see Brook singing a song about his idyllic version of Nekomamushi being a lonely and strong man who acts brave for the world. This is not how Nekomamushi really is, though, he reveals. Luffy is reading the note Sanji left and tries to understand the deeper meaning of the situation, but is basically in over his head on this one. Brook, Nami, and the crew explain the consequences of everything going on to him. Sanji is faced with joining Big Mom's crew if he marries her daughter. He may never be able to return to them, and he may have to cut himself off to protect them from his past. Usopp reveals that Sanji's relatives are the keys to this whole situation. Robin thinks the name Vinsmoke sounds familiar, but can't recall completely. Brook clearly knows something he still refuses to verbalize to anyone else, and sits silently by in deep thought. Zoro then speaks up and reminds them that their crew is in a very precarious situation at the current moment. They are on a runaway train of sorts that started with Caesar on Punk Hazard, continued with Doflamingo on Dressrosa, and now has them heading right into Kaido's crosshairs. The fact that they stopped the production of Kaido's main weapon, the SAD and associated smile fruits he uses for his artificial zone devil fruit users, is going to incur them Kaido's wrath very soon. Kaido will demand payback in cold blood. Zoro chastises Sanji for getting involved in an issue with another Yonko, Big Mom, while they were already in trouble up to their necks. It seems pretty obvious from the way Zoro is speaking and the way he has been acting, distracted in the last few chapters, that his words do not convey his true feelings on the matter. It is very likely that he feels similar in this situation to how Sanji felt when he hid the truth of Zoro's actions taking Kuma's attack on Thriller Bark. The two of them trust and respect each other's devotion to Luffy completely. Zoro is likely attempting to give Sanji the space and freedom he needs to handle this issue he felt he needed to face head on. Luffy wants to go after Sanji, and everyone freaks out at the suggestion of just bursting in on Big Mom's tea party. They remind him that she is on a whole other level from any other enemy that they have faced thus far in their journey. Luffy wants to sneak in, and Usopp is not impressed at all with this suggestion, to say the least. Chopper says that they do have a way to track down Big Mom, however, and then Brook explains that Capone forgot someone on the island that may be able to help them. This person is obviously Pekoms. The crew arrives at the Whale Forest, Guardian's residential district, and are given a hero's welcome by the minks there. Pedro introduces himself as the Guardian's captain and informs Luffy of Pekom's situation and lets him know that they will let them speak to him. He then close talks Luffy and says that all of this is a big secret, so he needs to keep it on the hush-hush for the time being. It is very clear that Pedro and all of the night minks that live in the forest are very thuggish and have a sort of gangster mentality where they're like, hey, we gotta keep this on the down low. Then a pretty reindeer type mink girl shows up to guide Chopper to Nekomamushi for his checkup. Chopper is clearly immediately smitten with this girl and starts fumbling over his words with hearts in his eyes and a claim that he is not stiff in her presence. When we get to Nekomamushi, he is on the bed singing a meow meow song and eating lasagna in honor of Garfield. Chopper gets mad at him for being in water, eating heavy foods, and using his injured left hand. Nekomamushi doesn't care and keeps acting carefree, bounding around, hugging and thanking the Straw Hats, and generally being silly until he reopens all his wounds with blood splurting everywhere. Chopper continues to lecture Nekomamushi, but it is clearly having no effect on his attitude or behavior. Brook comments that he is a riot, and it is clear that his personality is the true reason that Brook is such a big fan of the giant cat. We then cut to Luffy and Pekoms for the final page of the chapter. Pekoms apologizes for everything that has transpired, and Luffy wants to know about the proposed marriage. Pekoms tells them that Big Mom is behind it, alongside Sanji's dad. Sanji's dad, it turns out, is an infamous man in the entire underworld, because the Vinsmoke family is a famous family of assassins. This chapter was another home run from Oda, and once again we have another chapter to look forward to next week. The year of Sanji is rolling on nicely, and we found out this chapter that Sanji comes from an important family of underworld assassins. Sanji's older brothers are likely the two that we saw watching the underworld broadcast back in Punk Hazards that were veiled in shadows. These two also played a part in Luffy's flashback, and they were chased by Luffy and Ace. The big question going forward is how the crew will progress. They are fighting wars on two fronts at the moment. They have an ongoing and growing feud with Kaido, which has been building for the last 2 arcs and over 3 years worth of chapters. They also have an ongoing feud with Big Mom that began with Luffy's threats towards her on Fishman Island and escalated with her kidnapping of Sanji. Either the crew can split into 2 groups again and have them each deal with one problem, or they can put up a unified front against the enemies one at a time. I don't see the crew splitting up again after they were just reunited after almost 100 chapters, so I think they will do this sequentially. Sanji's ordeal seems the most pressing, as Kaido has not even started looking for them yet, so I think they will go after Big Mom first. I believe very heavily, especially with the revelation that she has 35 daughters, that Big Mom will turn out to be Lola's mother, and eventually an ally of the Straw Hats. Combined with Pekom's debt of gratitude to the crew for saving the Minks, I think this will set up for a war against Kaido. Luffy and company will first crash Big Mom's tea party, and hijinks and fighting will ensue, but ultimately, the truth about Big Mom and Lola will come out. Then Pekoms will vouch for them as well, and perhaps Sanji will sweet-talk her with his cooking to seal the deal. Then the combined force of the Straw Hat main crew, Law's crew, the Minks, Big Mom's fleet, and Luffy's newly joined fleet will battle against Kaido. I think this battle will take place on or due to the events of Wano. The samurai traveling with the crew and the other samurai still on Wano will join forces with the Straw Hat allies and have a war the level of the Whitebeard War was against Kaido. This war will set the tone for the rest of the story and will likely lead into a second time skip that we will get, which will progress the crew's talents even more. The next couple chapters and arcs of One Piece are going to be amazing. Dressrosa dragged on for a bit longer than anyone would have liked, but Oda has rewarded our patience with continuous great chapters ever since Doflamingo was taken out by Luffy with one giant punch. Next week, and One Piece chapter 815 can't come soon enough. Well, that's all that I have for you guys this week with One Piece chapter 814. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so that you can get more amazing review, discussion, and theory videos just like this. See you guys next time. Take care.